Part 3. Okay. It's still 21st of December. September. Good Lord, I'm not lying away from you yet. It's 1:05 in the morning, Pacific Standard Time. I could say the sleep deprived, emotionally screwed up zombie, but this one's going to be the Diary of the Griever named John Weaver, which is me. Okay, so I was doing a letter over to Emma Cruises, and I'm hoping she picks up on this one. I don't know why, but she seems like to be a busy young woman that's full of passion, full of life, and cruising at this point is going to be her main thing. And I was just trying to talk to her a little bit on the beds, and I got into a grieving situation. We were talking about Disney, we're talking about Disney ships, we're talking about cruising. Well, we were talking about experiencing life with my family is no longer here, and how it's becoming emotionally disturbing and incredulous for me to even go through something that could be acted as fun. My family had gone to Disneyland all my life. I mean, we'd gone several times. One time, my brother and I did a long time streak, about 7, 8 times. Within about I think 1998, 99, all the way through 2006 or seven, that we went to Disneyland to celebrate New Year's Eve. Disney seemed to be the safest place in Anaheim, California, to be celebrating. They didn't allow any guns, fireworks except their own, and people didn't have any weapons to kill you with. All they wanted to do is celebrate New Year's. My brother and I did that. At one time, we had a couple of friends invited. We made it into a big, huge party, but then after that, my brother and I just decided the brothers will do this one. So about 4 or 5 times in a row, we did that. My mother usually screaming about the damn finances. I didn't blame her. It was too much fun. What makes it hard for me to go back over to Disney and Disney product lines like that is my family's not there anymore. They're gone. I already got into the trigger words already. I've already got into the emotional triggers, and it's going to be formulating itself somewhere. So eventually today, I am going to be turning into a depressional nut job here because I couldn't bear what was going on. My family's not here. I'm talking about things I did with my family, and they hurt like oh God, they hurt. Oh, emotionally they're on the same pain level as waking up with my back trying to kill me every morning. That made me worse. Talking about going on a Disney cruise ship. I hadn't been on one at all. And I'd like to go on a cruise ship. I kept thinking, okay, Royal Caribbean, maybe Carnival. Carnival's supposed to be fun and cheap. Caribbean, a little bit more taste on it. Norwegian, forget it, too stuffy for me. Princess, I know Princess has a lot to offer for other people, other older cruisers. Disney, for me, would have been an experience in a lifetime having it with my mother and my brother. And the thing of it is, you ever try dragging the cemetery with you when you're talking about things like this and you want to go on an outing that your family used to go to and you haven't quite escaped either the mausoleum or the graveyard? I'm not trying to be October spooky here. I'm just trying to say that emotionally, I've got the ball and chain to it. Things that I used to take for granted, things I used to do, and they're no longer there anymore. They no longer matter. Depression kicks in, and motivation is buried alive and screaming in the graveyard. And you're just there and being dead again. Emotional, no, unemotional zombie, barely alive in both worlds. creepy. But it's also depressing as hell because there's no life. There's no feeling of warmth, energy, feeling of dynamics, feeling of anything. You just feel the mourn. You just feel the grief. You just feel the pain, the sadness, depression, anxiety, the PTSD, anything else rolled up in one egg roll. Take a huge bite, boys and girls. It's depressing as hell. People don't want to talk about it. That's why I don't get that many people on my channel in the first place. And if I do, it'll be a miracle. But I wasn't there attracting people, at least not that much anyway. I'm not saying, here, I'm going to bark my depressing channel to people saying that you must like this and you must comment, you must, you must, you must. No, I'm just saying my story. That's all it is. It's just saying my story, and some people like it and other people don't. That's fine. How do you deal with your grieving? How do you deal with your mourning? How do you deal with the things that you used to deal with that you feel like you can't deal with anymore? I mean, I'm dealing with that on a personal day-by-day experience here. There's nothing to bark. There's nothing to sell. There's just conversation. That's all it is. And how do you talk to other people about death and mourning and grieving and how your heart has already been torn apart left and right, and you're still trying to put it back together again with duct tape, chewing gum, and 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 other kind of materials that you have around just to put your heart back together again. You put a hell of a lot of investment into loving, and then after when that love is gone, it's still empty as hell, and it's hard dealing with it. Memories of things I used to do a long time ago haunt me to this day. Even as I talk about them, sometimes I can feel the wisps hanging around me. But the thing I I hadn't come across all that often is the cold chill down the back. I mean, I'd get an occasional dream every once in a while about my family coming in, Ma or Dave, or both. But after that, nothing. It makes me sad and makes me utterly just not a people person. So when I talk about cruising, yeah, I talked about cruising of the past. Everyone else has got their own past experiences and they talk about it, but they like looking forward. And I keep asking myself, how do I keep looking forward? When I've lost everything else that mattered to me a great deal, or just about. I still got a dog I'm still caring about. I've had her for about 19, 20 years, and she knew Ma and she knew Dave. And when they're gone, it tore her apart, and we're just the only survivors left. So naturally, I have to do anything and everything else I can for my dog. But I haven't been, have I? Not as much. I tried to go on these cruise forums to get my mind off of things. I wanted to go back out there. I wanted to go back on the seas again. And sometimes I kept looking at maybe it's not the metal ships I'm looking for. It's the old 18th to 19th century creaking bits of flotsam and yard arms and fabric and canvas. Thinking about those ships. It's like forever sailing on. Dealing with the tarpaulin sails. Dealing with the constant waves and the seasickness. Rolling of the motions. Cries at the gull if you're lucky enough towards land. Or they just may use the yardums, the spurs, the booms, using it for just a rest stop before they go on, move off the ship, and then you're stuck with the elements once more. We've taken that out of the issue of cruising, though. 18th, 19th centuries, accommodation sucked, so did the quality of the food, the company. Trying to travel from one point to another, one way, not for fun. I started doing cruising research on this one for my essay in class in English. I didn't realize that there's one guy who was part of a shipping magnate who was in charge of it. Decided he wanted to use some of his ships for cruising pleasure. In the winter months, when the shipping containers and the cargo ships were having issues with the winter runs, it was a German magnate. He decided to turn part of his cargo ships into cruising. Of course, it was uncomfortable as hell, but the other German outfits said, "Okay, fine, we'll try it our way. We'll just redesign a cruise ship and fit the best luxury in there for people." And these cargo ships that would sail from point A to point B, just for transportation purposes. I mean, yeah, the first class would get near every damn accommodation, and you were lucky enough if you're third class stowage, you'd get a bunk, actually not a bunk, but a rack, or maybe just a you get something for a bed. You get a hammock. And you probably get a private area, or actually a communal area for whatever you need. And there was not that much entertainment for the third class. Not that much food opportunities. As I was learning on the other history channels on YouTube, how the travelers would have issues, what they could and what they could not deal with. Food-wise, entertainment-wise, life-wise, traveling from one point to another. A one-way bus system on the water. But cruising, entertainment, are you kidding? People have a little bit more luxuries if they can afford it. Ships like the Titanic, when they're actually being built and cruising the water, similar to them. Oh yeah, they give the first class everything, and third class just transportation storage. But not really for the entertainment. Going down to the Caribbean, suck up a raise, and come back to chilly old England. Or deal with the nor'easters, or the Atlantic squalls. I may have been born out of my time on this one. I feel like it. I feel like I'm getting old and ancient-y. The more I research on some occasions like this, it's just more to learn, more to understand, more to feel more ancient. And I'm always trying to go for the latest thing on a cruising. Pack the ships full of stuff before you can pack the ships full of people to enjoy the stuff. And what's so spectacular about it? I was trying to do an essay just to discover that with the weasel words and the advertisements, just for people to look at it and enjoy. I mean, I did a few PowerPoint presentations that are incomplete as hell. And just trying to see what the magic of the cruising was. And I've already been through it once. But the thing is, with a family, that's what made it all special, is when I had my family with me. But if I happen to go cruising alone, it's going to be a commiseration. It's going to be a memorial. Maybe considered miserable. Because the dark cloud will be coming from me. The hardest damn thing to deal with. Try to imagine going into a favorite spot where your family was all the time. And then you feel how ancient you are and how old. You're still alive and they're all dead and gone, buried alive, or just drifting around as memories and ghosts. And you can't seem to enjoy yourself as much. That's me for right now. I looked at the cruising options, and I'm not quite sure if, I mean, I'd like to, but I'm not quite sure if emotionally I'm ready for the damn thing. I'm almost quite convinced that I'm not ready for Disney trip itself to Anaheim. I mean, hell with Florida. I ain't going into that cesspool. It's not the company. It's not dealing with all the damn pricing at this point. It's also politics over there. But in dealing with Disney itself out in Anaheim, I mean, it'd be almost easy enough for me to get on trains and get down there. You know, have a motel room already ready. But then me walking onto the property after getting a tram ride or bus into it, shelling out the money over at the gate, just walking through the till, walking through the turnstile. Of course, I would have to head over to the wheelchairs and motorized scooters real fast to get me one. And after that, it would be a hell of a thing for me to try to get through places like that because now I would have to look real hard. Was it all worth it? She only got a couple of $100 at Disneyland Park. And feeling the memories. Seeing the pictures. Seeing the ghost that flit by. It's not the costumes. It's the memories of Mama and David going up and down Main Street. Looking at the shops. Ma loved to do shopping. Oh God, she loved it. She loved to do window shopping. If she could afford it, she'd buy a trinket or two. A lot of the trinkets long gone. And so are almost the memories. See, it wouldn't be going for the new, it's going for the old. Yeah, it'd be new stuff for me to deal with as a kid. Kid at heart, maybe, if the kid was still there. But going down Main Street first just to get to the other pieces of the park. There'd be one section of it that I had to get past. I would have to get past. Right where the tracks are at, and you go right through the tunnels. There was an area over there where cast members would go in and out of. And I met Captain Hook over there. Got a picture of him with me and Ma. I also had a picture of me, Ma, and Dave, or actually just Ma and Dave, in their scooters. Ma and her built her own scooter, and David had to rent one for himself. And I would be walking. I was able, I was young, I was fit enough. And I'd be taking a picture sometimes. carrying a bag with the stuff and just taking snapshots. Candy shops Mom would go into, but she was more interested in the Christmas decorations, ornaments. She was a specialty hunter. And Dave and I would be the schlubs. We would be the schlubs. If her basket couldn't carry the stuff, we had to carry it as well. Even Dave and I did our runs several times, going to different shops to shop. We did our New Year's thing, but we did enter the shops just to see what they actually had, if there was anything we can get Ma. Crystal bells for the Christmas trees. Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Tinkerbell. Peter Pan era. Cinderella. Pocahontas. Snow White. There'd be Christmas decorations that you could just place right on top of a counter or on a tree. You had a strong enough supporting enough branches underneath. Ma loved them and so did I. It made them part of Christmas magic. It was part of the Christmas magic. Too much so. Couldn't find them anymore. Can't. They're not out there. I would have them only in memories now. Or, if I was lucky enough, maybe in a few outstanding pictures, if I actually could find some of them online. But things like that are the anchors that weigh me down more and more. They are the very depressing things to hold on to. And I know probably people say, well, it's just like, oh, be happy and feel this way. Easier said than done. When you hold into a high regard of your family, it's hard to let go. It's hard to let go and feel that era is gone. It's hard to move on. Try to see things new instead of through memories. Hard enough time for me to do new stuff, like if I had to actually have money for it, I'd go cruising. But I'd look at the cruise ship, and the thing is, I hadn't been on a cruise ship with Ma and Dave, just with Dave. And that's what it would make it hard right there, because even if it was just with David, I'd still have a hard time dealing with it. So I don't go. If I wanted to go to Disneyland, I wouldn't go anyway. Because of memories. I went to Universal Studios. I worked there. So did Dave, but we didn't work together. That's the point. And dealing with the grieving in the morning, it's the memories of being with family all the time, being with the ones that you love and care about. That's what makes the memories more special. And when you go back to them, it feels like you have a graveyard that's being trampled upon. You're feeling the feelings of cold, the shiver down the spines maybe sometimes, or the longingness, the memories, the sirens, if you will. And when that Odysseus had problems, he wanted to hear the music and had to get himself tied up. He could hear the music and drive himself mad as the ship goes through a certain spot where the sirens would dwell until it was all over. He was probably pissed off at his crew after that. I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him. Still. It's hard enough for me to even consider an idea of going out, even if I had about a few $100s to spare. Just to go out and have fun. Then I went to the movies when we could afford it and had found something to watch. I did it a couple of times, did it alone. I would watch movies alone here on streaming. A lot of television shows that I used to watch. But what get to me is something that would probably interest him and me at the same time. I like watching old westerns, a few of them anyway. Dave and I would watch them all the time. Or old John Wayne war pictures. I'm trying to get back into that again. But for me, going back on board a cruise ship, that would be a major challenge, wouldn't it? Emotionally. Besides the other physical challenges. Challenges of, well, I don't know. What kind of physical challenges would I be facing going on board a boat? Or a ship? A cruise? It's always following my brother's lead. You know, with my brother, I was actually able to explore because I had my brother with me. Now I'm just not doing that because I don't know. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Yeah, bugs. I deal with a bug war. Constant basis of the damn cockroaches. I'm feeling it in my bones. I'm feeling it in my joints. What I can stand, what I can't stand. What I can deal with, what I can't deal with. And it seems like I'm getting more and more moribund, more decrepit, more decayed. It's like I've allowed the ravages of time to steal away both physical and spiritual. It's not to mention emotional. I feel like I am that depressed about it. And it's no wonder people don't like watching shit like this because they don't want to deal with their own damn stuff. They want to deal with happy, dappy, slappy stuff or maybe stuff that makes them funny or best off as held. But for me, I don't know what to say or tell them. I don't know what's out there that I can actually explain it to them what's going on. How it's supposed to be. And how is it supposed to be anyway? If I had the if I had the passport already, which I don't. And what happens once that happens? Would I save enough money if I actually had it to even consider going on a short stint? I'd be worried more about taking care of my dog than anything like that. my tie down. That she's my world now. And I'm not going anywhere. I mean, I gotten used to the idea of doing things by Zoom or by different means that I used to. More staying home and dealing with at home. Let the world come to me through computer screens. Instead of me going out there, the youth can enjoy, youth can challenge, youth can have fun. Well, if you're young at heart, I got old real fast when I lost my heart. And it's kind of hard to regain that again, no matter how many smiling faces I would see around me. Because the only thing I'd be seeing is the images, the ghosts, and how it would haunt me. Of course, they'd be haunting me because they're telling me I need to go out and do stuff more. They liked it when I was creative. So did I. I liked it when I had family around me that I could be creative and show stuff and show it to them. How my feeling is old and worn out. Some days I wake up and I'm wondering what the hell I'm doing all this damn college shit in the first place. Am I doing it for them? Am I doing it for myself? Am I doing it for my family? What am I doing it for? And being in that depressional stage of not understanding or unwilling to understand. Uh, some things happen and I have no control over it. So I have to cope with what I've got right now. I'm depressing right now, and that's how my video is. So.